It's called His Legends Were Like Unicorns. Trying to describe you was almost psychedelic, like seeing unicorns on Meserole Ave. And Brooklyn was so full of flannel, it flooded onto the streets. I never trust too much flannel, or facial hair, or brown liquids with businessman names. I arrived on a hunch, and you mysteriously manifested under the laser lights, saturated in artificial blackout. I used to speak of you in hyperboles, a fiction of royal fabrics. It's easy to question my veracity, but there must be some truth to every tall tale, and somehow I had you in my hand now, not like a text message, but more like a mahjong tile. So maybe it was a meditative spell, maybe I'm a sorceress. They say luck is horseshoes, and no one knows why, but I know I'd throw them at a stick in the ground all day if it meant cinching it just once and living to tell. The night moved only in spaces, crushed by colorful beads shifting in a kaleidoscope, spun in a child's hands. So then of course a taxi. Let someone else navigate the refuge. Let danger fall peripheral. Let's out-charm each other with prowess. I said, take the B2E, it's faster. You said, I'm bringing Sleazy back. But I don't think Sleazy went anywhere. The apartment was a twitch in a power line, but I let it be candlelit, chandeliered. I fed you tinctures from my personal collection. Your blue oxen waited where I left you, sleeping on the couch, leather bomber jacket draped over you. How quickly we confused mystical and mythical, and how dumb we felt when we realized our error. So I'm reading from like a handwritten thing, because I like dropped papers, and I told the story about how the HR lady came in early. I couldn't turn my phones out. So I'm sorry if I flub a little bit. This next one, I revisited my undergraduate thesis, which was very strange and sad. But I actually really kind of I like this one, so I wanted to share it, even though it's kind of young, you know. And it's untitled. It had a title, but I'm not going to embarrass myself with it. So it's untitled. Oh, and I should mention, I live in Providence now, but I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm very serious. I love it there. And I feel like it comes out a lot in my work. It's really great to live somewhere where you have a river and a valley and mountains and all these beautiful things around you. So that's kind of good to know. 1. Secrecy in nature. A dead aesthetic flourishing in an envelope of mountains. This condition defined as irreversible, degenerative. Emphysema winds exhale jagged flecks of tissue from the trees, the lungs surrounding the main line, named Hudson after its foster father. 2. Contaminated blood maintains proper distance from a too-soaked experience. GE dumps more PCBs in and floating. There are so many letters, all too toxic to form solid poems. You can't go swimming in the river. 3. Hudson was an explorer. Hudson was a mutineer. Hudson was a stranger, a real loner. Hudson died in water searching. You remind me of your father. 4. This certain type of pathetic fallacy, a town in tandem collapse with the modest autumn time and the inexplicable hangnails in a manicured geography. I think this next one was featured in either the newsletter for this or on the site, I'm not sure, but it's kind of my anti-summer poem, and it's called My Body is What Ails Me. Maybe my body hates its skin, wishes only to be made of water, clear, uncongealed, without murked film or blemish. You say, a summer rash for a summer girl, but I don't know what that means. I just want to swim in your pool. Shock treatment annihilates algae, so calm until my eyes begin to puff. I want to sweat chlorine. I wish my body could kill what ails it. Some days I want to be an ocean, but inevitably I'm more mosquito. Blood corpulent. Jellyfish stings swollen. Unattractive and pinker. You ask if I've encountered poison ivy. It's not weeping. Still, we're not touching. If the world were up to me, all skin would be resilient. Fluid never flakes. If it were up to me, your pool would be all access. With an outstretched wand, I'd pick what naturally occurs. Choose the least inflammatory. Dark monsters that make the bay move. Thick salt, a necessary storm. The way the thunder rolls in and scares nobody. An ominous purr that beguiles until soon the cellar's wet, flooded. I bet my body wants to drown its flesh, its carrion drifting afloat in the Red Sea, writhe and slippery, suffocated, quiet. Oh, cumbersome body, let flowers bloom from the hives. Let me cultivate a garden of itch you'd never want to scratch. A dumb rain pelting down when the soil gets too dry. So I guess I kind of want to ask what you guys want. I have 2 poems, and they're both about death. And I didn't really want to do that to you. So do you want an elegy to a celebrity that I will not disclose until you're reading the poem or hearing the poem? Or do you want kind of like an elegy about my dead fish? Okay.
More death.
More death. Oh, okay.
Dead celebrity fish.
Okay. All right. I'll read both. I'll start with the elegy to the celebrity. You'll know. It's called Elegy. The reporter said there was blood on her legs. We said, oh no, she wouldn't damage those. We remembered her poise, accentuated muscle, how they called her the voice, but we called her the legs. Remembered it better than bad interviews, where she said crack is whack, when we said so sad, when we blamed it on Bobby. I focused on the clock, sobbing out the time, stricken hours, the TV's crackle and all its horrible humidity. My breakdown was not broadcast, but I too was on the floor with nobody who loved me. All I had were capsule shells like cast off claws from a baby monster. A culmination of things once killed me. When we were living, I called you monster. When we were dead, I called you Bobby. Say you want to dance, I said, but we were only shells, nothing of substance. We heard the news say accident, felt sad, but we liked that word, we used it for our own. And I needed a bath to be just a bath, just to loosen crimped and lacquered hair, all my days belabored into restless nights. I needed to loosen the grip of your claws, fallen from orange bottles, printed prescription names of people who we had no relation. I did not know the difference in sound between scattered pills and a tiny splash, or an empty room from the downtown lights. We could not tell the people from the monsters, my baby from my Bobby, powder from poise. The fever broke, or maybe it faded, and the party carried on without us. We knew then it wasn't the legs that were sad, it was all that they had to carry. Okay, the fish one is kind of awkward because I screenshot it on my phone. Sorry. And after this, I have one more for you. But this is called Bright Red Bit. When our beta died, we dumped him bowl and all into the Susquehanna. Oh, I was so sad without a fish. The dark, bellowing ring in the wood where the bowl once was. Why didn't we save even one marble? As I sprinkled his food into the river, Jeff said, "You killed it," and I knew he didn't mean the fish. Sometimes I'd walk down Holly, if only to see if a bowl was floating in the glints of diurnal water. I like to think our fish is the river now, and I swear I saw a bright red bit at the bottom, unlike how we found him, cadaver gray. When I die, I do not really want my possessions with me down there, returned to earth. Just stuff I pulverized into a nurturing. My home, for one, as rotten as it was, the red Solo cups on the porch, the secondhand bed, dirty tube socks and loose threads of tobacco in the carpet. I left before the flood, but I hoped our fish would come back. A message in a bottle uncorked. The message might have said, always be an endless stream of regeneration, which was sad, since that was impossible for us. We were more like the glass bowl, might have been screaming until it broke. I was always underwater with our fish, swimming through the little crevices of Plastic Castle and the rainbow flakes of food, the debris in the river, and the cardboard boxes full of things I could never take with me when I die. If I could give you a message from the Susquehanna, it would say that there's a limit to perseverance. How our fish must have known his size were numbered when I noticed his tattered fins as fragile and broken hearts, while unhooking frames from the wall, packing boxes. That fish was what I loved about the Southern Tier, and there is nothing like the love for something that'll never love you back. I really did love that fish. This is my last poem. If you like it, it's on a little journal called Medizen, and they did a really cool visual thing with it. So I'm making it sound cooler than it is. It's just a poem, but it's called "I Was Born a Shrieking Slot Machine." My first word, jackpot. A rolling marquee, one exclamation point too many. I've only memories of dizzy sevens, lemons, cherries, and bars. I thought my arms were handles, levers. I didn't know the players made the colorful wheels spin, thought my body was called machine. I'll never know about the Kino kingdom I inherit, what conceived the gold in my eyes that everyone said are like a cascade of coins. He kept me around because I'm both lucky and volatile. Raised on Miss America pageants, sizzling filament, taking a chance. The casino taught me all I need to know about love. Win some, lose some. If there's jingling, it's little necks and oysters for dinner. But if I can hear the click of the key unlocking the hotel room door, it's a quiet ride back. A stop at a Bob's Big Boy, a piss break, and scratch ticket. Summers let me do whatever. Loose bikini tops and saltwater taffy, kissing under the boardwalk, and my pickup line every time. The only real thing is how fake this all is. How some man from Tom's River said I needed better reprimand and a softer shade of lipstick. But I never learned how to willingly fold. It might sound stupid, but I remember my father as just the casino, the only version of him I know. A lead foot down the Garden State, a varying shadow of fill line on a bucket, and I, the passenger, warming tokens for the toll plazas between my palms, the hot coins I toss into the metal basket sparking fires. Thank you, everybody.